I am still willing to trade my main account during this session. If there's a really good setup where I want to trade it, I will still take a trade with that account too. And I'll probably try to dual trade, try to trade that at the same time, which sometimes can be difficult with entries and stuff. Going back and forth between screens, but I might. So we'll see. So right now, let's just look at our charts. I've got this 15-minute busy charted out because it is a very key level that we have respected. So we came up, we displaced that high, and then we created a breakaway fair value gap, and we've traded back into it. So I would like to see the long step in from this level. And we do need to look at how ES is still getting a strong divergence, but we do have that fair value gap on ES down here as well that we traded into. But I do want to see us try to push from this level and start heading up for some more buy side liquidity up top. Like this swing high up here. I would like to see that because let's say we just came up and swept the highs on the 15-minute and came back down, didn't really show a breakaway fair value gap or anything good. I would be looking to short, but since we have pushed up pretty aggressively, we saw that displacement 15-minute fair value gap. Technically, we have a bullish breaker here with a low, high, lower, low. Displacement of the high, it's actually a unicorn model. So we would chart out our highest up close candle here, right there. And what I'm going to do is put that there. That's our breaker. And then our fair value gap, that unicorn, is right here. So we have a bullish unicorn model here on the 15-minute, which is like my favorite time frame to have that model on. I love the unicorn model on the 15-minute. So far we've seen a nice bounce from that level. Very nice bounce. Here's the issue is if we didn't get an entry down here and we want to get an entry over here, where is our stop loss going to be? Because if we want to keep it below that fair value gap, that's a 100 tick stop. I don't want to have a 100 tick stop. We could try to keep it lower, around 50, 55 ticks. So that's probably something I'll try to do. If we want to trade back in, the only issue with what's going on right now is that we are just very choppy and we are just very rangy right now. We're not really making any real moves. Look at all this chop ever since we got in that trade, the one that we held all the way for that TP. We've come down a little bit, traded into that 15-minute, into that unicorn, but we've just chopped the whole time. So if we're going to continue to see this terrible price action, then we'll just keep our risk out of the market. But if we start to see pretty good price action, we start to see us bounce again from this 15-minute, I will be looking to long this, trying to catch it up to high of the day, right, which is that high we formed up here, and maybe even further up. It just depends if we're going to actually try to expand here. If we look at the daily level, look at the daily time frame, very bullish candle right now, right? Long wick down, and ever since we've been pumping, so I want to see a continuation now to the upside. But now it's just about, can we get a solid entry? Are we going to have some price action that's not just choppy like we've seen for the past, hour, little more than an hour, really, about an hour and a half. We've seen pretty choppy price action. So again, I don't want to trade in the choppy price action, but if we can set up something and we can start to bounce from that 15-minute, I'd like to see the long step in. The one thing holding us back is this divergence between ES and NQ. We can see ES is not even pushing past this high up here. Right, if we look at where that high is, let's go to the 15-minute on NQ. Right, we've got that high. That NQ is way past already, and ES hasn't even wanted to go up near it yet, so hasn't even wanted to go up there. So a lot of divergence, but overall, I would still want to see these long step in. It's just about the timing. Can we time this right? Are we going to keep chopping, or are we going to actually start to pump? And I don't want to be too premature in my entries to where we're just trying to get that long entry and we continue to chop for a while. I don't want to do that. But I also don't want to wait too long to where we miss out on the actual pump. So I'm just going to be tape reading price action right now, kind of seeing what we do, maybe waiting for us to get into silver bullet hour. Maybe we'll start to make a push from there. I'll just be waiting for that. If we start to push down and start disrespecting our breaker or our unicorn model, that's when I would be looking to short this market. But until then, I'm still thinking long. Even with this divergence, I still am thinking long right now. So we have pushed back into that unicorn. We haven't touched into the breaker again yet. but we have touched into that unicorn. Again, the breakaway fair value gap unicorn model like this is one of my A+ setups. I just want to see a little bit better price action. This is one of my favorite setups in the market. It typically offers pretty good reward, pretty high probability setup. But when we have to be able to understand how price action is moving, and if price action is very, very slow and choppy, even if we have an A+ setup, sometimes it's best to just stay out of the market. So I'll use my fib from the high to the low for this breaker. First standard deviation is all the way up here in that 15-minute bearish fair value gap, so we still have a lot of reward up to this liquidity level, up to that fair value gap, 15-minute SIBI. So again, overall, bullish bias still right now until proven otherwise. And for those of you that didn't hear me before, I am still willing to trade my main account during this session. If there's a good enough setup, I will. But if not, then I'll leave it alone. So I'm still willing to trade it. We'll see what we do. We'll see if we get any decent price action here. I am hoping that we do. Have you guys taken any more trades since we last spoke? There hasn't really been too much. So you haven't really seen me call anything out. I haven't liked this price action, so I haven't taken anything. Okay, good. I assume so. I assume the best that you guys have stayed out of this stuff because it is not good. Not good price action. There's a few times I was thinking about calling out a trade, thinking about getting into a trade, but I just didn't like what I was seeing. The only thing I thought of was the longs off this 15-minute fair value gap. I had just sat back down on my computer and I saw it, but I still didn't like what I was seeing. Overall, still didn't like the price action, so I just decided to stay out of it. Right when we traded back in. So it could have been a good trade, but we also didn't see any follow through. We didn't see us go back. We didn't see a lot of strength, still a lot of chop, so I wasn't willing to put risk on the table for that one. So let's hope we're not going to chop like this for the rest of the day. I'm really hoping we won't. I do expect us to get some kind of good move. It just depends on when that is going to happen. All right, it could happen in the next 7-8 minutes. It could not happen until an hour. It's just about the timing. Typically, I do like to see it happen going into silver bullet hour, which is coming up in about 6 minutes. But we'll have to wait and see what the market offers us. Yeah, so we'll see, guys. That trade, were you guys all here for this trade? That was a crazy one. We held through. We took a TP, and then we added back in, and then we held all the way through the chop to take TP at London High, which I didn't have charted out here, but we can see London High over here on M&Q. We held all the way through to that level. Took a while. Stuck to our plan, and it worked out. So that was nice. Made some of my losses back on that one. I'm happy with that. So yeah, this week in general should be an interesting one. We don't have a lot of trading time, if you think about it. Wednesday we have a short day. Thursday we don't have anything. Friday, yeah, normal day, but I don't believe the price action is going to be great because it's the day after a holiday and the day before a weekend. So typically most people are on vacation, most people are out, maybe hungover from the 4th of July, not really trading. We're probably not going to see a ton of volume in the market. I wouldn't think so, at least. So really our days are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Those are the days we're focusing on. It's Monday, Tuesday especially. I think tomorrow might be our best day. I'm hoping it will be our best day of price action. We'll see how Wednesday is. But we always got to think about what's going on. What holidays do we have? What news do we have? How are we going to navigate it? Today we've done a pretty good job of navigating. We haven't seen amazing price action. We've seen like maybe one good move since I started my session. Maybe one or two good moves. Even this move wasn't amazing. It wasn't great. It looked like it was great. Looked like a great setup. But it still chopped all the way there. So it still wasn't an amazing trade. It worked out for us, but we haven't seen a lot of great setups so far. Maybe this morning at market open, there was a few, decent trades, but ever since then we haven't seen too much. So again, we haven't really missed out on too much here. So weeks like this are all just about being able to lock in that risk management and manage the market conditions. Understand when it's a good time to trade and when it's a bad time to trade. Right now, it's not a good time to trade. Not with this. It could start getting better, but you don't see me looking to jump into a trade right now because I'm seeing this pretty choppy price action. There's going to be times where it's a great time to trade, where you're going to see me put more risk on the table. You're going to see me be more aggressive. And there's going to be times like this where I'm kind of sitting on the sideline, not looking to take too many trades or not really looking to take any trades, just depending on what we see. But that is one of the most important parts of being a good trader is knowing when to trade and knowing when not to trade. So many people that fail at trading are the ones that don't know that because they are trying to take trades in really bad market conditions. And then when the market conditions are good, they're over trading, or they're too scared to lose and they're taking the wrong trades and they don't really have a real plan. So it's all about understanding when's a good time to trade, when's a bad time to trade. The best traders are the ones that know when to sit on the sideline, know when not to take a trade, know when not to risk any capital, and then they know exactly when to put capital and when to risk their money, right? Because the conditions are great. They have A+ setups. They have high probability setups. So that's one of the most important parts of finding success as a trader. And I will keep emphasizing that. You might hear me say that 20 times in the next few weeks. To me, it doesn't matter. I'm going to keep emphasizing how important that is. Because many of the days where you see yourself blowing up and blowing your accounts is on days where the price action is really bad. And you can't fight that temptation, and you allow that emotion to get the best of you, and you still try to trade, and it pretty much never goes well. If you would have just waited for that price action to kind of clear up, be good, wait for a better day, you could have saved that capital, saved your money, and then maybe put risk in on a good day, and you probably would have seen better results. And even if you didn't see better results, at least you have that discipline to only trade the good price action. And I'm sure, hopefully most of you would agree with me on that. I think everybody has been through that before. Whether you've been trading for a week or whether you've been trading for years or months, you've probably already been through that at least once, if not a lot of times. But the more experience you start to get, the more you start to realize, okay, this is probably not a good time to trade. I'm probably going to stay out. But that takes a lot of practice and it takes a lot of patience. It's not an easy thing to do. So we're still just chopping, guys. Very choppy. Again, we bounced off the breaker and we're just coming right back down. We're not breaking out of this chop. Look at the 5 minute. Very, very bad price action here on the 5. Just up and down, up and down, up and down. No clear direction for us here. So we are now into our silver bullet hour. 1 hour candle just closed. Got a small little 1 hour fair value gap down here. 1 hour busy. All right, so if we were going to see price start to break structure to the downside, get a market structure shift, I would expect us to trade down into that hourly bullish fair value gap. I don't necessarily want to see that happen. I want to see us use this level as support and start expanding to the upside. That's what I want to see. So now we just have to see if that happens. I would like to ask you guys now for our educational session tomorrow. Is there anything you guys would like me to go over? That way I have a little bit more time to kind of prepare that for you guys. Is there anything specifically during our educational tomorrow you guys would like me to cover? Because that will be our last educational session of the week. So if there's anything you guys are, wanting to learn or you're struggling with, I would like to know what you would like me to go over in that session. That way we can, get that taken care of this week. And you don't have to wait a whole week. So if you don't want to say anything in the chat, it's okay. You can also, let me know in the VIP chat room or send a DM something you guys would like me to go over. You guys are kind of quiet today. What's going on, guys? Everybody shy? Oh, I'm sorry about that, Honest Money. I hope you feel better. No worries. What's up, Abundant Wealth? How you doing, man? Okay, and again, if you guys don't have anything, I'll come up with something. I'll figure out what I think is best for us to go over, what I think would be really valuable, and I'll create a little, maybe I'll even create a lesson or something, and we'll go over it. You just finished the 2022 ICT, the ICT mentorship. The next thing that I would look at if I were you, if you want to start doing more of a deep dive, would be looking into either the 2023 mentorship or starting to look into the core content. Core content is really good stuff. All on YouTube, all for free. Very good stuff. We could look into market maker models. I think that'd be pretty good. Yeah, I think that'd be pretty good. That is something I would want to prepare a good lesson for. We've got a small 1 hour bullish fair value gap. Price might want to break this 5 minute for. Yeah, so that's the one I just charted down here, right? We've got that small hourly bullish fair value gap there. But right now, we're starting to really push. Again, we're still very choppy. Still very choppy, so I'm still not even ready to long this market. I do want to see these long step in. I like that we're getting another bounce off that 15 minute. I just don't know if I'm ready to be longing this yet with all this chop we're seeing. This is a pretty strong candle. I do like that. But I would want to see at least start to take out some highs, make some higher highs, higher lows. Something, right? And if I miss out on a better entry opportunity down here, I'm okay with that because I want to see a lot of confluence here for me to get into a position. Start to see a 1 minute fair value gap form. Start to see us trade into that. Right? Start to see us trade back in, respect a gap, and then start to pump. Once I see that, I'm ready to get in. I'm ready to get an entry. We're still reacting a lot off that breaker on the 15 minute. Look at that. Every time we've come down, we've wicked off of it. Nice reactions. So let's see what we do. We're not getting any follow through yet. We have created a fair value gap, so I'm going to start looking at this as possible target entry here. Possible target entry. All right, so we've got liquidity up here at all these equal highs. We've got our high of the day up here. probably be the two main targets I would be looking for. Let's see if we want to trade back down. I do like that we're starting to create fair value gaps, or at least we've created one on the 1 minute time frame. That's all I'm really looking for during Silver Bullet. I'm looking for us to come down, sweep liquidity on one side, or start to make a push, creating fair value gaps, bouncing off a PD array on a higher time frame, creating these 1 minute gaps, trade back into them, look for entries. Long wick on the 1 hour, starting to look like we want to continue that bullish trend. Let's see if we want to trade back into a fair value gap or something. It looks like we're going to start pushing here. Hopefully we don't leave us behind. I hope we do try to get some retracement and move back into a gap, an imbalance that we can, you know, get a nice entry off of. I'm not here to chase price. I'm here to wait for our setups. Take good entries. Let's see if we can get that retracement here. Man, we keep pushing. We're not really getting any pullback, but at least we're getting that confluence in these longs now. At least we're getting that extra confluence. Like I said, if I miss out, I miss out. I need to see my, you know, my levels played. I need to see my levels tapped into. Right, I could just be happy that I'm seeing price move in the direction we want to see. And it's important, guys, if you are feeling like, geez, I should have jumped into that trade, I missed out on that opportunity, then you should start journaling every time you feel something like that. Because if you are getting FOMO and you feel like you should be in every little breakout move, every little trade, you should be journaling that and understanding that feeling, getting to the bottom of it, realizing why you're feeling that way, and figure out what is more important, chasing these trades and trying to get in every little trade, or waiting for your setups to play out. But if you continue to not, you know, hold yourself accountable and not put some intentional thinking into these setups, into your trading, you're going to find yourself getting caught in that cycle and not breaking out of it, of, you know, that chasing of price. So you can just have a notebook, or, you know, even if it's on your computer, have, you know, some notes pulled up, and every time you start to think, you start to have that feeling, that emotion of that you wish you were in this trade, think of, okay, why am I having this feeling? Why am I not in this trade? Why should I have been in this trade? Should I have not been in this trade? Was my setup there? Was it not there? And break it down. That way, every time you do that, you're building that muscle memory to where it's just going to be secondhand nature for the trades you take in the future. If your setup's there, you take it. If it's not, you don't take it. You don't get FOMO. You don't let the emotion take over. You're going to be good. Okay, so we just took out that high, right? That was that TP level I was talking about. One of our TP levels I wanted to see us go take. So if we would have touched into this 1 minute fair value gap, I would have gotten an entry there if we reacted off of it and taken TP at this high, right? I would have done that. But we didn't tap into my levels, so I didn't get an entry. We see some divergence at the top again. ES hasn't taken these highs out. So let's see if ES wants to go for those highs, if we're going to get some pullback again. To me, it looks like we're going to keep trying to pump here. But so far, we have not traded into any 1 minute fair value gaps, any 2 minute fair value gaps, any 3, right? So forth. We have not tapped into any of those levels I would want to see us touch into. We have this one forming here. Right now we're going to that full TP level, or at least that next TP level I was talking about. High of the day, we're making a new high. But if we continue on this trend, I would expect us to really keep going. I wouldn't expect us to pull back too much. I would expect us to try to move to that, whatever that next level is, maybe that 15-minute imbalance, right? Maybe that 15-minute high right there, that swing high. Again, we have our first standard deviation off of this bullish breaker all the way up here. We see we're respecting that bullish breaker. So far, analysis right on point, just no entries. Uh-oh. What is that? Oh man, that's... Why am I had a limit order in there for some reason. On what account is that? And now it won't let me... I don't know why I had a limit order. Okay. Okay, I'm out. I don't know why I did that. We're good. We're good now. Alright, so they're trying to get me. They're trying to get me. I must have had... I don't know why that limit order was still there. Okay, so back to it. We're still not trading back into any fair value gaps. Still waiting for us to get some kind of pullback. But as I was saying, our analysis is on point. All right, we called out these longs. I called out these longs from the start. Just didn't have that fair value gap during silver bullet because that's the entry I'm looking for. I'm looking for that silver bullet entry. So we've taken some buy side. We're forming some 1 minute bullish fair value gaps. So I'm really just waiting for us to trade back into one of those and still look long. Because we are still very bullish on the day. Looking for us to come up to that high up there that we saw in the 15 minute. So we still have a good amount of reward here. Alright, so we just tapped into that fair value gap. Let me make sure. Alright, so MNQ, there we go. So I will start looking for longs here if we can see a good reaction off this gap. Alright, I'm going to test out the longs. Half a lot. I'm giving the silver bullet long a shot here, guys. Just half a lot. 40. I'll have a 40 tick stop down below this fair value gap, 20,011.50. Again, during silver bullet, I'm really just looking for any fair value gap to be tapped into, and then looking for that continuation. Okay, I'm going to add into a full here. I'm going to move my stop loss up just a bit. So now my entry's up here. And I'll keep a 40 tick stop, but it'll be at 20,014.25. Okay, so we're in a full position. Price is pumping. Let's see if we can get that continuation. Again, first TP we could take at 51 ticks. We could take at this high. What do you guys think? Do we take a TP at like a little over a 1-to-1 at this high, or do we hold all the way up to the 15 minute? That's a good first TP. Let's take some TP.
Order filled.
So I just sold half my position there. I'm going to move my stop to break even. Just a quick win there. Just a quick win.
Order working.
That's what I'm talking about there, guys. So we took TP probably around 60, 70 ticks. I think about 60 something ticks. And I'll keep my stop at break even. It moved up a little bit. And we'll see if we keep pumping. If we can keep pumping, I'll hold all the way up to this 15-minute imbalance up top. So right now I got my stop at break even. First TP has been taken. And I'll start trailing my stops here. I'll probably split them. So what I'll do is I'll go here. I'll put one stop loss here.
Order working.
And I'll start trailing it.
Order working.
A lot of order workings here. So as we start to move up, I'll start trailing my stops into profit. Okay, so we have our win. It's a risk-free trade now. We've caught about 60 ticks, and now I'm going to start trailing my stops as we start to pump. All right, so I've got one. I'm going to keep just under that last 1 minute candle. And I'm going to put, I only have one there, so I'm going to put another one at break even.
Order working.
And now we'll see if we can get that continuation. Yeah, literally any fair value gap we tap into right now, that I would look for a reentry. ES is going for our London high, or what high is that? I think that's our London high. No, it hasn't even gotten to London high. London high is up here. So ES is pumping for that next high. During silver bullet and a strong trend like this, all I'm looking to do is just either add into my position every time we touch back into a fair value gap, or just get those 1 minute fair value gap entries. Okay, so we're still pumping. I might even add into on my normal account, guys. If we trade back into that fair value gap, I might take a trade on my normal account. Okay, so first TP has been taken. Now we're just letting this one ride. 73 ticks have hit so far. I want to move my stop up, but I also want to give it room just in case it wants to trade into that fair value gap. But if we start to pump like crazy again, I'll just move one of my stops. I'll trail it. But I also want to give myself a chance. Since ES still hasn't reached that high, we still have a lot of potential to keep going off that bullish breaker. You know, this might be one of those ones I'm willing to hold for a while, but I also want to secure TP when it's there. So I'm going to keep holding it, and I'm going to look to maybe, if we trade back into this fair value gap down here, I might take a position on my normal account. Because I really do like this. I really like these longs. Really like these longs here. But I would wait for us to, you know, test a 1 minute fair value gap. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to trail this one stop up to this low. So that stop is now trailed up to the under that order block. Let's see if we have any other good TP levels up until that point. 15 minute, we don't really have a swing high all the way up until there. Let's look at the 5. 5 minute, we are in a 5 minute bearish fair value gap. So we could take TP. We're around the top of it, but I want to keep holding this one. I think we're going to keep trying to push through. So here's what I'll do. I'll just trail my stop even closer to the, like right here, 20,000, 43.50. Just one of my stops, and I'll move my other two just a bit into profit. Just a little bit into profit. All right, and we'll see if we can keep riding this one up. Again, if we look at our 15-minute time frame, look at that pump off that breaker, and our first standard deviation isn't until almost the 50% of that bearish fair value gap up top. So I do want to keep holding, and I will keep trailing and secure profit just in case we want to pull back too far. But I'm going to keep 2 of my stops down here and 1 of them up here.
Stop filled.
All right, so 1 of my stops just got taken. Okay, so now I am just in, how many contracts? 2. I think I'm just in 2 contracts. Yeah, so 2 micros now per account. 2 micros per account here. I'm still going to hold this one. Okay, we create a fair value gap down here. I might look to add into my, a long in my normal account here if we trade into this and start to see a reaction. Again, we're getting a strong pullback. So far, we've been respecting all of our 1 minute fair value gaps, and we have been pushing up pretty strongly. And we still have that level up there that we're looking to target. All right, so just holding a few runners here. Just holding 2 runners. Let's see what kind of reaction we get here. I'm starting to look for maybe an entry in my main account here. Let's see if we can get a reaction. If we don't, I won't get an entry. Okay, we're moving down kind of aggressively. Got my 2 stops in profit. So if we get stopped, we get stopped. Still a great trade. Still a great trade, and a trade I'm very willing to hold because of we still have unfinished business up here with that liquidity. Especially with ES. So let's see if we get a bounce here. We're looking kind of aggressive down. I want to start seeing a bounce. I'm going to start looking for longs in my main account. Let's see, still waiting, still waiting. Still haven't gotten an entry. Still not enough reaction yet for me. Still waiting. Let's see if we're going to take us out.
Filled. Stop filled.
Okay, so we took out... Oh, why didn't it take out my other... I don't know what is going on with Tradeovate. We didn't take out my other contract on
Order cancelled.
on one of my 50Ks. It's been kind of weird. Okay, so nice win there. I wanted to see that fall through. We just didn't get the fall through like we wanted. But we still took a TP around 60, 70 ticks for first TP. I'm still very happy about that. On your top step, Tradeovate, your 1 minute chart looks very different. That's weird. Is your data, maybe your data isn't up to date? What time does it say? That's strange. Again, I'm still willing to look for more longs here. I still do think we're gonna eventually try to target these highs. Yeah, if the symbol is yellow, that means you do not have the updated data, and I don't know why, because TopStep should automatically give that to you. That's weird. I'm not sure why it does that. Why it's doing that. So a lot of pullback here on the 15. But we did catch, a decent chunk of that move. We waited a while, but we still were able to catch, 60, 70 ticks, even with waiting. So now we trade into that 5 minute. Let's see. I might look to take a trade on my main account here. I'm happy. We got some pretty good profits there with our prop firm accounts. I'll still be willing to trade those too. I'm just starting to like this price action a lot more. Morning was okay, so we started out with 2 losses, and then we came back with a nice win. A lot of people ended green. I ended a little bit in the red, still not green. Again, I'm okay with ending in the red, but I do want to see. I'm starting to like the price action more here, so I'm more willing to take a trade with my main account here. Especially how we have respected that bullish unicorn, one of my favorite entry models, maybe my favorite entry model. And we still have liquidity up here in that fair value gap and those highs. Disrespected that one there. But good trade either way, guys. I'm happy with that one. Happy with that one. Risked it for, for some extra profit. Didn't get the profit, but still won the trade. Back into that 1 minute fair value gap again that we bounced. That was our original entry level here. Was off that 1 minute fair value gap. Great entry for us. Now, the one thing we have to think about is the more we start to disrespect our bullish fair value gaps, the less I'm liking getting in the longs. Because I really want to see us respecting all of our bullish gaps. Because now we're starting to head down pretty aggressively. And I don't want a long when we're going down very aggressively. So let's see how aggressive this pullback is going to be. Pretty strong move down right here. All right. So, who all got in that win with me? Did you guys all take profit? Did you all take profit at the 60, 70 tick mark? Sweet. There we go. There we go. We got to get some energy in here, guys. We got to get that energy. It's okay to celebrate the wins. It's okay to celebrate. It's okay to have some little bit of emotion. There we go. All right, so now we're dropping pretty hard here. So we came up, we grabbed buy side, and now we're seeing a big break of structure here, which I wasn't expecting a break of structure. Got you. Okay, I got you. There we go. I love it, guys. I love it. Okay, so very strong pullback. We still displaced the highs, which I like. So I want this just to be a fake out move to the downside, and I still want to see these longs continue. We'll see if that's the case. Chicken winner, chicken winner. Now that's the energy I'm talking about. Man, just think of about all the burritos you could buy with that money that we just made. You could buy a lot of burritos. Now, if that doesn't make you happy, I don't know what will. Yes, sir. Appreciate it. So now I'm just waiting. Just waiting. No other entries right now. Let me stop streaming real quick. I'm going to connect my main account because I might take a trade with my main account here. So, let's see. Might need to go back to NQ. So now that we've gotten a win, on, our prop firm accounts, I'm willing to let those be right now and try to, find a good trade on my main account here. So I pulled NQ back up again. A lot of writing going on. I'm just going to literally remove all of my drawings here and just start from scratch and just point out the key levels that I'm looking at. Oh yeah, what's the deal they got going on? Free 99. 15-minute Sibby here. Okay, we have our 15-minute bullish breaker with our fair value gap unicorn model. Trading almost back into that unicorn here. All right, we are moving down aggressively. Right now, ES is almost breaking or getting a market structure shift. That's a pretty steep drop right there. Looks like a knife. Looks like a knife right here. But we are back into that breaker, into that unicorn. That is a very steep reversal, if I've ever seen one. And I have seen them. Seen plenty. Man, alright, so we're disrespecting a lot of our bearish levels. So now what I would be waiting, if I'm gonna try to short at all, I would need to see us come down and really get a market structure shift. Create a bearish breaker. Something like that would make me want to short this. Kind of looking like how Friday was looking. All right, Friday we were very bullish for most of the day, and then we saw that crazy drop off to end the day. Let's look at our daily time frame. Daily overall still looks bullish, but I don't know if we're, how much continuation we're going to see. I want to see us keep going to the highs and try to maybe trade back into that daily imbalance. That's what I would like, but we'll see if that's going to happen. Either way, if we don't take another trade on the day, I'm still very happy. We still got our win. So we'll see. We'll see here. So we were able to catch about half of that move, right? We were waiting for that confirmation. Saw that confirmation. Finally traded into a fair value gap and caught about half of that move. I'm happy with that. Again, the ideal entry I was talking about would have been this fair value gap down here. Was waiting for us to trade into it, and we just never traded into it. But during Silver Bullet, I'm literally just looking for that first, any fair value gap to be tapped into, and I'm looking to enter off of that. Okay, we're bouncing off the 15-minute again. But after a strong move down like that, I'm not ready to jump back into the longs. See what the VIX is up to right now. VIX has been dropping all day. It's starting to push up a little bit, not too much. Yeah, it's a 15-minute breaker block. So 15-minute breaker. Bullish breaker. So we can see low, high, lower, low, displacement of the highs, fair value gap, unicorn model. So that highest up close candle on the 15-minute is that breaker. So again, if I wanted to long again, I would be waiting for us to create another fair value gap, trade into it, long again. Got some SMT down here. Look how ES traded down. Took out that low. Oh, not that one. That one right there. So we got that SMT. There. Let's see how NQ failed to sweep and starts pumping. So we got some divergence. We're back into that 15-minute breaker. Now just waiting for another level to be set up. It's either I'm waiting for us to set up a 1 minute fair value gap to the upside, or I'm waiting for us to get a market structure shift back to the downside. You guys got any movie suggestions that I should download for my flight? While we're waiting. Dune, I'm not going to lie, I've seen Dune 2 3 times already. I love it. It's so good. Young Guns. I've never heard of that. Let me look into that one. I'm just gonna make a list and look into the movies. Atlas, okay. I'm writing these down, guys. I'm writing them down. Oh, Project X is a classic. Classic. I haven't seen that one in a while. What is the best way to recognize a value gap, a fair value gap? So there's one of two things you can do. There are algorithms, or there are things you can utilize on TradingView that will chart those out for you. I think it's the Lux Algo fair value gap. I'm not sure the exact name. If you have trouble finding them on your own, you can find that Lux Algo under on TradingView. And if not, the quickest way is to go watch my video under my course about fair value gaps. Study what the structure of a fair value gap is. Have a picture of it or in your notes, and just start going onto your charts and start testing. Every time you see a fair value gap, just chart it out like this with a rectangle right there. Boom, fair value gap. Every little one you see, just start charting them out. You know, you could go to your higher time frames. You know, like up here, boom, 15-minute fair value gap. You're just looking through all of your charts, all these different time frames, and you're just starting to chart them out. Because once you start doing that, you start charting them out a bunch, the more you're just going to be able to notice them without even thinking. But if you do have a hard time finding them, you can use that algorithm, that Lux Algo, and it will help chart out them for you. So I would look into that. The Town. I've heard of The Town. That's an older one, right? I haven't seen that. Who's that with? That's with like a pretty big actor, I think. Okay, so we bounced off that 1 minute bearish for value gap there. We're still not creating any bullish ones. We did get the bounce off the breaker again. Still waiting for us to create another entry. Yeah, Ben Affleck, that's right. Okay. Yeah, definitely, Jack. Yeah, that's something we could go over for sure. That'd be very valuable. Sweet MB. There we go. Guys, also, I've got someone here in the live, and you guys have heard announcements from him before. His name's Braden. He is my administrator. And if you guys have questions, and let's say I haven't been able to respond to you, shoot a DM to Braden, or you know, shout out Braden, ask him questions. He's here for you guys as well. Okay, he'll be here to answer any of your questions. So just want to throw that out there, because there's certain times where I have so many messages, or you know, I'm not able to respond because I'm doing something, and there's going to be times where, you know, you might want to get an answer real quick, and Braden might be able to help you quicker than me. So just want you guys to be aware of that. And also, if you guys just want to say what's up to Braden, he is a member of our team. So I don't think I've officially given him a formal announcement. So there it is. So yeah, say what's up to Braden. The indicator is good, but is not charting every figure. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't chart out everyone. But it does help. Well, that's good. Hey, whatever works. You need TradingView Premium to use Lux Algo. Okay, I'll say this, and I'm going to be a little bit honest, a little brutally honest here. If you are willing to be spending money on prop firm accounts, you should have the money or be willing to pay for a better subscription on TradingView if you're going to be spending a lot of time charting. You should focus and you should have a good subscription on TradingView if you want to use those tools. Because if you are willing to spend the money to trade, you should be willing to have the tools necessary for that. So I'll just say that. And I understand if you don't want to pay for it. I get that. I understand. But that's just my honest opinion there. That's my honest opinion. I believe it's worth it to have a good subscription on TradingView because it is very helpful. It's very helpful to have the extra tools you need to make your life a little bit easier. And if not, well, then yeah, you'll probably just have to start recognizing, go watch my video anyways. Go check out my course. I think the first video is all about fair value gaps. Either the first or the second. And you'll start to be able to recognize them a lot better. I'm telling you that. For sure. So we're kind of just chopping again, guys. Still not really any good price action since our trade. We haven't seen great price action. Nice, there you go. Perfect. Nice little sale there. And thank you, Braden. There's Braden right there, guys, like he said. Any questions, concerns, anything you guys have, just think of Braden just like me. He's got the answers. Yeah, and also Braden's going with me up to Utah. We're visiting our friends, and we're gonna try to film a little bit of content up there, as well. Try to film a little bit of content. Try to make some cool videos or something. So the market is just not moving much. Not moving much right now. Just chilling. Very slow. Ever since that move, we haven't seen much happening. I also wasn't really ready to short from up here either, guys. Wasn't really looking to short from up here. I was expecting a little bit of a continuation up to the highs. So we are waiting for John. So John is currently in the process of moving right now. So once he is done and ready, he will be joining the team. So we're waiting right now. It could be a week. It could be 2 weeks. It could be, so we're not too sure exactly the date. He's got to figure out some stuff with his moving company and everything. And I'm sure once he joins, he'll tell you guys all about it. But it will be very soon. Very soon, hopefully. Hopefully within the next week or two. That's what we're praying for. We want to get John on this team as quick as possible. See ya, AZ Sunshine. See you in the morning. Have a good one. So, I mean, guys, if we're gonna keep moving like this, I'm not gonna take any more trades. Oops. If we're gonna keep moving this slow, a lot of pullback on that 4 hour. A lot of pullback on that 1 hour. No continuation there. We do have this hourly down here. Hourly bullish imbalance. Hourly busy. And again, if we don't have another trade, I'm okay with that. We got our win. Even if I end the day in the red with my main account, I'm completely okay with that. So created a 5-minute bearish imbalance here as well. 5-minute bearish fair value gap. We are bouncing off that level. But I would still need to see a true market structure shift, break of structure, for me to want to short this. Because overall, bias is still long right now until I'm proven otherwise. So honestly, I don't think price action is going to get much better until a little bit into power hour. Maybe not even, for like 20 minutes into power hour, we'll see. So here's what we'll do. We got our win. Let's not let this price action, try to tempt us into taking any dumb trades. Let's wait. Let's call it a session here, and I will still stay on the charts and look for trades during power hour. I'm going to take a quick break, and then I'll come back to the charts and see if there's any good setups, and I will call it out if I'm going to take anything on my main account. But for now, it's very choppy. We're very slow. We already got our win. We don't want to sit around forever and, let that temptation get to us for over trading. So I'm going to call it the session done here. And then I will let you know. I'll give you a shout out or a call out if I'm going to take a trade during power hour. All right, you guys good with that? You guys down for that? Sweet. Sweet. All right, guys. I appreciate you. I will let you know shortly if I'm going to be jumping into any trades. So keep those notifications open just in case. And if you don't hear from me, I will see you tomorrow for a live session. You might hear from me this afternoon at some point. But again, if you have any questions, any concerns, we are here for you, me and Braden. Let us know. We'll answer them as quick as possible for you. Power hour is 12 to 1 Pacific. Yes. 12 to 1 Pacific. Sweet. All right, guys. God bless. I'll catch you all later. Stay safe today. Happy Monday. Peace.